everybody. I hope you are doing well. I just really wanted to give my take on this topic. I mean, I know you guys have seen so many people talking about this topic. I'm not going to be on camera today, so I know you're going to say, I can't see you. I understand you can't see me. I'm not on camera today. I just wanted to just verbally talk about this topic because I was really disappointed and more so kind of angry at Will Smith for how he handled himself at the Academy Award or the Oscars, sorry, the Oscars awards. I was appalled because one thing I've learned in life, and sometimes it's through lessons in life, is that a person who can get you to react or respond in a violent manner through words or who can make you angry is someone who has control over you. I know that it can take a lot of internal strength to withhold self-control when someone says something about you or a loved one that can be disturbing. But you relinquish your power when you allow someone to get a reaction out of you, when you allow someone to make you so angry to not only react in anger or in violence. And I have learned that when you allow someone to do that, you're giving them control over you. And when you react to things like that, you learn later on that you regret it. Why? Because we lose opportunities. There are consequences to those choices. In this situation, it appeared as though Will Smith did not acquire any form of consequences. In fact, he was awarded. He was able to still go on stage, give an emotional speech about the things that he's endured in Hollywood, and he was basically allowed to be acknowledged on stage after he committed this type of violence. I'm going to give both sides because I'm not a biased person. I believe in giving both sides. But what I think in this situation is, first and foremost, I believe that Will Smith has endured a lot of hardship in his life. He has seen his mother be abused by his father for many years, and he felt powerless to be able to defend his defend his mother against his father. He's probably have heard a lot of over the years complaints from Jada, saying, you don't protect me, you don't defend me when people, make jokes about me. He's endured, the social backlash and mockeries and people making fun of him over many, many years. And he's had to maintain this sense of professionalism and self-control over many years. And he held this anger in for many, many years. And I don't know of any information about him sharing this information with anyone. I don't hear of him expressing this in any type of social media situation or even getting any type of counseling for it. I have no information to indicate that he has. So what happens with individuals like this is when you hold this type of anger in for many, many years, and you don't have any form of outlet to express your anger, your hurt, your pain, you react in anger, you react in violence, you react in situations like this. It looks like an overreaction in our eyes because we think, oh, it was a joke. Comedians should be able to express themselves in jokes. But this is a man who has been holding in his anger for many, many years, and he chose the wrong time, the wrong scenario, and the wrong person to react and exhibit his anger, internal frustrations inside. And this can lead to future consequences in his life in terms of, there are evaluations being done, as we are aware, that the Academy may either suspend him, expel him. I think they're probably going to suspend him probably from next year. He probably won't be allowed to come to the event next year. We won't know until April 18th when they reconvene. He will have an opportunity to be heard. But I was very angry at when I saw this. I felt that he allowed this scenario to basically take away his power in that moment. He allowed himself to lose self-control of his own power. It was a different time and a different opportunity in which he should have chose to address Chris Rock, and he relinquished that power. This man has spent many decades building a reputation, building leadership's role model, representations in our community. And it took this one situation to completely take away all those wonderful accolades and viewpoints of who Will Smith has displayed himself over the years. You know, now there's people saying they don't even know truly who Will Smith is. On the other side, you have to be very careful, and comedians do have to be very careful of some of the jokes that they make. I understand comedians make jokes. It's understandable that they do that. That's their job. But when it relates to hair, that's a sensitive topic when it comes to women. It is very sensitive, and a lot of men sometimes culturally make these jokes and they think it's okay, but it's a very sensitive topic, especially when a woman has shaved her hair bald. A lot of times it could be due to medical conditions. Some women have to shave their hair bald, or their hair falls out because of chemotherapy, or if they're going through cancer treatments. Some women shave their hair bald because they are going through alopecia, like Jada, and their hair, they don't want to have to deal with the emotional trauma of seeing their hair fall out gradually, so they just shave it all off just to get it out the way. But what creates confusion, so in those situations, I just think comedians should stay clear of making those type of jokes. However, this does not excuse at all whatsoever what Will Smith did. Will Smith was wrong. He relinquished his power in this situation. He showed a lack of professional representation, and he was not a role model to all the thousands of people that were watching and the children that were watching. And I think the fact that he did not receive any type of consequence at that time, he was allowed to stay at the Oscars. He was allowed to give a speech and win an Academy Award. That just created a message in the visualization, in the evaluation of children who were watching this show as well, because we know children were watching. They are now seeing this and they now are thinking, oh, this is okay. You can do stuff like this and there's no consequences for it. So if someone in my class calls me a name, I should just walk up to them and slap them, because look, Will Smith didn't get a consequence. He got rewarded. He got a standing ovation. Everyone stood up for him when he cried. So all I have to do, this is what kids are thinking, because kids process things differently than adults. Kids process things differently than adults, and we have to be aware of that what's displayed on the media is being communicated and disseminated to our children. So and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So our children are seeing this and they're thinking, oh, Will Smith did this. He slapped this guy. He got away with it. He's still in the show, and he gets to speak, and he's crying, and everybody's standing up for him. So that's all I need to do now. I can go in class. If Billy calls me a name, or my friend a name, I can go slap him, and then I can just cry and tell my teacher why I feel abused, and they are going to reward me. And everyone's going to give me a standing ovation. So there's no consequences for decisions, because look, this guy is famous, and I look up to him. I've seen him in all these shows, and he's allowed to do it, so I can do it. And it makes it difficult now for a parent to then sit that child down and say, hey, you can't do that. And the kid's going to say, well, why can't I do it? Will Smith did it and he got away with it, so why can't I? So it creates this sense of confusion in the mindset of a child. So I feel that the Academy, they were wrong at that time. They claim that they told him to leave, but I don't feel they really truly took authoritative position to tell him to leave. If they did, they could have easily had security come and escort him out and say, you will get your reward, but you're not going to be able to come on this stage and you cannot stay here. I understand that his excuse is that he didn't like that Jada Pinkett, his wife, had to be made fun of in public because of her hair. I understand that is a very emotional topic for any woman, and I know that how hurtful that is. However, Jada has created this image in society that she doesn't care what people think about her hair. She has expressed it in a recorded video that she doesn't care what people think about her. And then what makes it confusing is during the awards ceremony, she showed distraught and she was not happy with the joke. So it was kind of confusing because she's creating this one image that she doesn't care, but when there's a joke made about her hair, she does care. So it's like she's creating a conflicting viewpoint. And then Will Smith, he gave up his power. He put it into the hands of Chris Rock when he reacted and got on the stage and slapped him. That was the wrong venue and that was the wrong time. And I was highly disappointed in him because over the decades of his life, he has displayed leadership, role model capabilities, and many people have looked up to him. And that's what makes it disappointing, because there's so many people in this world that look up to this man, and he gave it up in one night. And this is a lesson to all of us, you guys, that Use Will Smith's life as an example to you. Do not do not give anyone the power over you. Those people at your job, coworkers who say things that get you frustrated, maybe your spouse, maybe your friends, it doesn't matter. If someone says something to you that makes you feel angry, retain your power. You have control over your reaction. You can confidently, professionally tell that person, I don't appreciate how you treated me, but you maintain power and dignity in yourself when you are able to withhold the feeling, anger that you're feeling or violence, and tell them in a professional manner, I did not appreciate what you did. It is unacceptable. And you know what? I'm going to discontinue my communications with you until you can reconsider how you've treated me and speak to me in a professional manner. But we have to understand this is an important lesson to all of us, because Will Smith did commit a crime. He committed a battery on national television and he got away with it. Chris Rock didn't file charges. It looks like the police officers aren't going to do anything. I'm not sure if the prosecutors are going to do anything. They have the power to proceed with prosecuting him without Chris Rock's consent, because they are representing the people, that is society in general, not just the victim himself personally. But I haven't seen them take any actions. But I do believe, my personal view is that Will Smith should be held accountable in some way. There should be some consequence, because we need to send a message to our children who are younger, who are processing this situation also, that there are consequences to the choices that we make, and that it is essential to retain our power, our self-dignity, because when we react in anger to situations that hurt us, it causes us to lose opportunities. We lose out on prestige. We may even get let go from a job because some coworker said something and we turned around and slapped them. It's just, I'm sorry, it's just not okay, you guys. And then there's another side to this. As an African-American woman, I can understand that there are certain societal stereotypes that are placed upon the Black individual. We are pictured as being the mad Black woman, the mad Black man, violence. There's so many excuses for why police officers engage in excessive brutality against the Black man or the Black woman. They say, oh, they were getting violent towards me. That's the typical excuse we hear. Oh, they got an attitude, or they were aggressive. That's what we hear in society all the time when it comes to the Black individual. So there are situations like this where even when you are a celebrity or you are placed in a leadership role, that you have to present yourself in a self-controlled manner, because when you react in an angry way, it not only affects you, and I'm talking to Will Smith right now, it not only affects Will Smith, it affects pretty much the perception of how Black people are portrayed in the world. People are saying, well, see, I told you Black people are violent. I already told you they can't control themselves. Look what Will Smith did. He is displaying exactly what we have been saying. That's what people are saying. They're making an excuse to continue to falsely portray Black individuals as violent people. However, on the other side of that, I must say I want to applaud Chris Rock, because he showed that is to the contrary. He did not react. He did not retaliate. He maintained professionalism. And that, to me, is the contrary, the argument to show, no, not all Black individuals are violent or reactive. We do have self-control. We do have dignity. But I just wanted to point that out to say, as individuals who are minorities, and I'm speaking here, I'm sorry to limit, because I know not everybody in my chat is a minority, but if you are a minority, just be aware of that you represent not only yourself when you walk out the door, you represent all people of your race. I'm sad to say that, but that's just how it is. People who are different ethnicities than you are going to view you as representing everyone in your group. It's sad. It's just the way it is, because of their lack of knowledge of how other cultures are. So if they see you react in anger, they're going to think everybody in your group, if you're Hispanic, Asian, Black, I don't care what you are, but they're going to picture everybody in your group to be that way. That's just how people are. So you just have to think about that. Look, not only do I want to relinquish my power because of what someone said to me or what someone did to me, but I also have to understand there's an underlying, perception of how they view my ethnic group. So I need to represent them in the most positive, utmost light. So I'm just saying, guys, I just had to come and talk about this because I was so disappointed in Will Smith. It kind of angered me in a way. And then to hear about the backstory of Chris Rock. You guys need to look up Chris Rock. He has been through a lot of trauma. He has autism. He has been bullied all of his childhood. He's dealt with a lot of trauma as a kid, and he had to go through a lot of therapy. So this situation just resurfaced all of his trauma. He talked about a time when he was bullied as a kid at school, and he finally stood up to his abuser. He basically got a brick, he put it in some type of stocking and went to the school and like beat the guy. And the guy, thank God the guy lived. But it just shows that, you know, Chris Rock has a lot of trauma as a kid. He's been bullied. He's not the type of guy that's usually aggressive. He's kind of the guy that's always being bullied. And now he's on a national television. He's completely humiliated in front of the entire world. He gets bullied once again by a guy that's bigger in stature and slaps him. And all that did was bring up all of his pain and his trauma again. You know why he hasn't spoke out much about it? Because he's still traumatized. You know, when he went home, he thought not only about what Will Smith did, but it brought up all his past memories. He was traumatized. I'm telling you. He probably cried because he thought not about Will Smith. It had nothing to do with Will Smith. He thought about when he was that little vulnerable boy who wasn't protected. He thought about that little boy who was bullied at school, that was made fun of, who was physically battered as a kid. He thought about the trauma that he went through, you know, at home, you know, when he was abused and he had no power. And he felt the same exact way when he was on stage and he could not react when Will Smith slapped him. He knew he couldn't react. He had to maintain that professionalism. He had to maintain self-control. And he felt just as powerless in that situation as he has felt his entire life as a child. So this is so much more traumatic than what we think. We think, oh, well, you know, Will Smith, you know, he had pent up anger. But we cannot excuse behavior like this. We need to speak out against it. And we have the power over these individuals. We can choose not to watch their shows. We can choose not to support them. We can choose not to watch their red table because it's not acceptable. And now, you know, I guarantee you it's not going to be spoken of, but I guarantee Chris Rock is going to have to go back to therapy and he's going to have to still deal with that trauma because it's not really the Will Smith situation. He's going to still realize that he's still dealing with the pain and trauma of his childhood, of being bullied his entire childhood because of what happened to him. So I just wanted to come and speak on that, you guys, that this is something deeper than what just we saw a little slap on television. It's more than that. I feel that Will Smith should be held accountable. I feel there should be consequences. And I feel that this should speak a message to all of our children that there are choices that we make and that can lead to certain repercussions for that. And I really think that we should keep Chris Rock in prayer because I do feel that he feels a sense of defeat and powerless at this moment because as much as he probably wanted to react, he knew he couldn't. He had to maintain that professionalism on national television. I mean, you know, he wanted to defend himself because he has been through this trauma many times in his life. So sorry to nag you guys. I just wanted to come talk about this because this really hurt me, you know, just to see that happen to Chris Rock. I get the joke was offensive. I get, you know, there is a historical issue as it relates to Black women's hair. I get that Jada was hurt. I feel that Jada as a woman should have pulled her husband back and said, honey, no, this is not the right time. She should have done that because if a woman really loves you, even though, yes, she's offended, and if she knows that this can be a situation that can lead to dire consequences to you and your career, she will hold you back. I know if I was in that position, I would say, hey, honey, no, this is not the right time. You can talk to him later, but you know, this is not the right time. We're not going to lose out on you worked so hard for this, honey, to be here today. You're going to win an award. We already know this. And we do not want you to lose all of your years of work over a joke. Let's just, you know, sit, honey. She didn't do that. To me, that's not love. That is not love. Love, you put another person's, you know, needs above yourself. And that is not what she did. All right, guys, sorry to nag you. I love you. Please let me know in the chats what you guys think. I wanted this to be an open discussion because this frustrated me and I have been meditating on it. And I thought, hey, I want to hear what you guys think. All right, so I love you guys all and take care.